picture of us now, forever forgive. Cause little Missy Misery set foot in the ocean but never the sea. I'll bury her into the ground next to the old lemon tree. For the fruits have gone sour and bitter that no one would eat. Call it back and call myself for free. Bend the rules so I can show her home. Shave my head and change the way I think of the way I feel, 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 the way I feel. Cold to her heart, I will offer my shield. The sour has turned into sweet. Let not the weeds in this garden grow tall, for they will choke the lemon tree. Back and call myself for free. Bend the rules so I can show her home. Shave my head and change the way I think of the way I feel, 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 the way I feel. The sour has turned into sweet. Let not the weeds in this garden grow tall, for they will choke the lemon tree.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Better Man Show, where we all try to become the best versions of ourselves for 2021 and beyond, right? Hi, my name is BK, and if we are friends, I shouldn't be surprised you know that. But if you're not friends, wherever I'm popping up on your radar, because this is being live streamed to a few platforms at the same time, we are kind of testing it as well. Don't be a stranger, just add me as a friend. I'm happy to add you back as a friend. Please don't be a stranger, and then also leave a comment and let me know where you are joining us from, right? So if you're here for the first time and you're wondering what this is all about, this is actually day 84 of a 100-day live stream challenge, right? 84 days ago, I started a 100-day live stream challenge. So almost on the home stretch, almost on the home stretch. And I can remember 84 days ago when I kind of started it, especially for day one. Day one was not too difficult. Day one was actually not too difficult. In fact, most of you who have started an exercise program or anything like that, you probably can understand what I'm trying to say, right? When you go to the gym for the first day and you decided because this is what you want to do, it's normally not difficult on day one. Day two is the harder one, right? Because day two, your muscles are aching and then you're wondering, why did I get myself into this, right? So day two was a little bit harder, but I can honestly tell you, this past 84 days has been a fun journey of learning, of growing, and of connecting. Right. So if you do want to even attempt something like this, just hit me up and I'm happy to share some of the tips and how you could probably get going if you want, right? And in today's show, I kind of want to talk about why your live stream audience size doesn't matter. And some of the reasons will surprise you. Uh, the show is broken it up into two parts. The first part is a bit meta, the second part is not so meta. Now, why this topic today is because some friends asked me today and said, "Hey, we caught your live stream yesterday, and then you said that yesterday was the best day. Some of the best things you heard yesterday, and we don't quite understand it. So my apologies because I didn't explain it well yesterday, right? But the reason why I was extremely happy yesterday was because I found out that one of my friends, audience, and team member has started her own live stream, right? Now, that was probably the best thing or best news I heard, right, from this challenge, even though this is my challenge. Because uh, it all boils down to what's your goal when you do your whatever you are doing, or let's say in this case, this live stream, right? Why was I happy about it? Because number one, I started it as a personal discipline challenge. It was meant for myself to grow as a person, right? That's why the Better Man Show. And part of what I want to do for 2021, or rather, it was late 2020, was to build my discipline muscles, right? And but of course, over time, it has evolved into other things. So then it became the matter part is this, because um, it was truly satisfying to know that I have somehow impacted and influenced someone. Now, so because the original intention was, now of course, just a caveat, right? If you are doing a live stream for your business, then obviously audience size, audience viewership matters, right? But even if that's the case, if you have provided, if your goal is to build your business, you should think more about value, right? So, and when you provide value, even though your audience size might be small for a start, but you are providing value for a very select group of people, you'll be amazed at how the ripple effects of that can bring results for you down the line, downstream, right? So whether we are kind of doing it for a very specific business purpose, or like in my case for personal discipline, it really doesn't matter your size of your audience, because we have some lessons that we can learn from the movies, right? I mentioned before I did do film back in uni days, so this is one of my pet favorite subjects at the same time, right? So spoiler alert if you have not watched, but they're not new movies, so I'm not too worried about that. But just in case, if you have not watched Pay It Forward, which is a very old show, or a more recent one, which is the Old Guard, right? If you have not watched these two shows, then quick spoiler alert ahead. But I'm not really going to spoil much of the show. But what, why I say this is there's something to learn from these movies, because uh, these two movies, part of the lesson that we can learn from the movie is the fact that we never know the impact we have on the world when we impact just one life, right? We never truly know the impact that we have on the world, even if we just impact one life. Now, why is this a little bit matter? Because for example, let's say my show right now, the viewership numbers are not great, right? I mean, if that's the case. But even if my viewership numbers are not great and my audience size is not great, but I was truly ecstatic yesterday because I have actually impacted one other person to start her own live stream, right? Now, her viewership numbers might be vastly different from me, and her influence might be vastly different from me as well. So what happens is that the ripple effect from that is is unimaginable, right? And that is something that we can learn from uh, Pay It Forward as well as the Old Guard, right? The Old Guard, there is a very interesting final scene that they show a very huge map of history and the world and what they have been doing and how the singular actions they have been doing scattered across time and space have actually impacted the whole of humanity, right? It brings to mind a conversation I had with a friend, and it was an interesting one, right? Because these days sometimes some of us married couples do feel that the world is not a very pleasant and a nice place. And some couples do, I mean, that is their prerogative, right? Some couples decide not to bring another life, another human being into the world because they don't want to let them suffer in this world, right? So that's perfectly fine. And of course, that's everyone's own prerogative. But when I had a conversation with this very wise friend of mine, she mentioned something that was kind of thought provoking. She said that, you know, what if this, the couple that, and let's say a certain couple, right, that felt this way, what if the child that they bring into this world is the child that will change the world for the better, right? And and when she said that, it literally blew my mind because it was like, yeah, I never thought of it that way, but it's true, right? So that is part of why I was very happy with the news yesterday, even though it's just one friend, right? But you never know what kind of impact that has done, that might have happened, or that will happen down the stream, right? Because maybe because she did it, somebody else might do it, right? And that other person may have an even bigger sphere of influence that can truly impact the world in a much better way, right? The other thing is, this is something that kind of brought to mind Liao Fan's Si Xun, which means Liao Fan's four lessons or four teachings. This is something that I have I came across this some time back, but it has always left an impression on me because it's kind of relevant to what I'm trying to say tonight as well. Because um, he was they were trying to it's quite out in line, right? They were trying to have a child, but they couldn't, right? And when they visited a wise person, this wise person said that uh, if you subscribe to this philosophy, which is, I mean, is natural, right? This wise person said you need to do more good deeds, and by doing more good deeds, uh, your you will be blessed with a child, right? So they started to do it, and because of doing this they did a good deed almost every day, and then because of that, they managed to accumulate enough good deeds, right? Such that they were blessed with a child, right? Now, but along the way, he was also blessed with promotions and blessed with all kinds of things where he became a very high-ranking official. Now, but the last lesson was interesting because he kind of said that he was kind of in a dream. I think he was in a dream. He was talking to this wise person in the dream and said that, I've been so busy lately that I've not been able to conscientiously and consistently do the good deeds that I'm supposed to do, right? So how, and but yet I'm still being blessed. Why is that the case? And what this wise person said was because you are now in a position of power and authority, and because you have been a good official. What you used to be when you were not an ordinary official and you were doing a good deed a day on a daily basis. Today, because you are such a high ranking official, every single decision that you make, if you make a good one, it impacts thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions of lives on a daily basis. And that is the good that you are doing on an exponential level. And again, that also literally blew my mind. So what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't really matter if you have a small audience size to start with. If your platform, if the platform that you've chose, and if your intention is to kind of get going and provide value for your customer base, for your clients, or for whatever audience that you are trying to serve, then have faith that down the line, amazing things is going to happen for you, right? Because you never know the ripple effects that may really, really, truly um, trickle down, right? And eventually it may not even be just a trickle. It may be a huge waterfall of good news or goodness, right? So I just want to give a shout out to my good friend, my friend for taking the brave step to do her live stream. She's now on day 52 already, right? So I am so happy for that, right? So in line with this, I know it because I didn't want to make the show too meta. So in line with this, I kind of want to, um, because I mentioned this yesterday, I kind of want to quickly take a sneak peek at Obsidian. I want to show all of you a sneak peek because, the thing is that once I start showing you, it also kickstarts my own use, and also it will get me going. So let me just quickly show you. See, share screen and see. Can you see this? Yeah. So this is Obsidian. Let's see whether I can. Oops. Okay. Okay, so this is Obsidian. Now, so this is like a node. I just started using it. I was like playing around with it, and this is like official. So this is like, see, this is my day 84 live stream challenge, right? Why your audience size doesn't matter. And some of the notes I made, right? Just for today. So this is just for today. Now, but this is literally the start of how to use Obsidian. I want to show you very quickly how it can evolve into, right? So this is something from um, Light Kit. It's called Light Kit. Is just a quick shout out. Is from this person called from this website called linkingyourthinking.com, and it's just free to download. But it truly shows you the potential of what it can do. Now, of course, this is just a template for you. You do not have to make it so complicated, because just as what I've shown you just now, it can be simpler. But I want to show you the graph view. So this is the graphical view of your notes. And in line with what we have been talking about how one thing can lead to another and one person can lead to another, right? So this is actually why I'm excited about this particular way of note taking, because it kind of shows you the potential of linking your notes. Because you see all these notes, so you can zoom in a little bit, right? And you can see these are all the notes that you have. And you start simple, but as you start to collect ideas and things you learn, and collect information and learnings and musings and so on, right? Then you also start to make connections, and eventually what happens is that it evolves into a map like this. And then from there, when you need to say you want to pick up something, you could click on it, and then it goes into some of the notes we have written down. Now, of course, this is fully fleshed out. This comes from something called Light Kit. It's kind of like a template for you. But again, I stress, you do not need to start at this level. So for example, like my case, right? I just want to get going. So I just started. So this is like a daily note for me, because I'm doing a live stream now. But I can go back to homepage, right? And so this is a homepage, right? And then I have just created one category for myself for a start, which is 010, which is for personal growth. So I'm going to start filling up some of the notes in that category, for example. And if maybe in a year it might grow into something like this, right? It might grow into something like this. And then I can there are a lot of built-in fun features in this. So it can, for example, surface up random notes for you. It allows you to make sure you can take daily notes if you want. It allows you to build links to external sources that you may have watched, like let's say a good YouTube video, a good podcast, and so on. So basically, this is kind of like the second brain project, like I mentioned a few times. But it is so promising. So that's why I just wanted to do a quick sneak peek for you now. If you're keen, and as I learn how to use this properly, I'm happy to do a quick walkthrough with this. So it's using something called Markdown language, which is basically just typing, right? So a very simple typing. So you notice that now this is the viewing, and you can see that this is the editing mode, right? So by a single hex sign, I can change the size of the fonts, right? So this is a simple markdown, which is future proof. You can translate it to other platforms and other applications in the future. So for example, like right now, this line here now is just a simple text line, but there's no heading. I could make it into a header tree style, right? So this is now header tree. So if you go back to viewing, so it's a different thing. It's a different header size already. So, and then you can make simple links between pages. So like this is the main page. I could just create a link and go back to home like this. Right. So it's actually just a very simple way of typing, and that's it, right? So you make a link. So now you have linked this back to home if you wanted to do that. Now, um, I'm always this is a part of me that is I'm kind of like a child in a toy shop sometimes, because I just came across a brand new toy, right? So this is actually it's like a new. I think it's going to be a very interesting productivity tool for me for 2021. I kind of wanted to just share my excitement with you, my audience first. So check it out if you are interested in things like that, and check it out if you are into personal productivity, because after all, this is about being a best version of ourselves, right? uh, and do let me know if you already are using something like that, right? If you are, then maybe we could share tips. That's always a good thing. So it's called Obsidian. It's free to download. You could donate to their development if you want to. um, there are other applications or other versions of this that is not free but very popular as well, called Notion. And then there's another one called Roam Research, ROAM, Roam Research. So all this is part of the Evergreen Notes Zettelkasten method of creating note taking and so on. So it is something fascinating, and of course over time, because I also started doing journaling, right? So I'm gonna translate the journals onto this platform, and then over time, as you see linkages, just like you saw the little map just now, as you see linkages between ideas and so on, you will actually emerge a pattern, and then you might gain insights into things that you didn't actually notice in the first place, right? So this whole thing, this whole personal knowledge management idea is actually meant for you to create insights and concepts for yourself. And what better way? Because if you are trying to be the best version of yourself, who knows? I mean, as I do this in 3 months, 6 months, a year, I may discover things and new insights about myself, or maybe I find that I'm gravitating too much into one area, and I need to kind of maybe scale down a little bit. So, for example, if I see that graphical map just now, there might be it might be overly skewed in one area, so I may need to pull back a little bit. So things like that, because once you see it graphically, it might bring forth other ideas for you. So I think the app is also quite meta. But anyway, pardon my excitement, but you can tell that I hope you can tell that I'm excited about something like this, because it's going to be quite interesting to see over time. So thank you for joining me for day number 84. We are kind of in the home stretch, and again, if you have a slight inkling in your heart to try and do something like this, I encourage you to just just hit me up, just connect with me. I'm happy to guide you along or even send you some tips on how you could get going doing something like this for yourself, right? So remember, you can impact the world in ways that you cannot imagine. So I'll see you tomorrow.